welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday. It is the weekly energy card reading, and what that is every Saturday I post a video where you, the viewer, get to choose from one of 3 tarot or oracle decks, and then from that deck we'll go ahead and do a quick spread to see what the general energies will be like for your next 7 days. It does not need to be the week of October 3rd through the 10th of 2020 in order for the messages to resonate. If you come across this video at any time, it could contain messages for you. There is a saying in card reading. We say, take what resonates and leave the rest. So if you feel like the messages are not resonating, you do not need to, accept any messages that you feel like do not pertain to you. If it doesn't seem to resonate, you can always choose either another pile or possibly another video. But we do just keep it in very general terms. It's for entertainment purposes only, and it's all in good fun. Now, this week we're going to do something kind of different, something kind of special. Tomorrow, October 4th, is World Animal Day. And so, if you frequent my channel often, you'll know that I like to celebrate national days. I think it's a nice way to, have something to celebrate and to kind of enjoy life. And so today I'm going to do something kind of different. Normally I would have 3 tarot decks, and I would clarify with an oracle deck. Today we're going to go ahead and pick from one of 3 animal oracle decks, and I'm going to clarify with a tarot deck, the Spacious Tarot, and the Spacious Tarot actually has all animals in it. There are no human figures in that deck. So I thought that would be kind of a fun way to celebrate the day. I'm really excited about this next week because it's actually this last Thursday was the October 1st, and it was the anniversary of my channel, and so I'm so grateful. I can't believe it's already been a year, and I'm thankful for all of your support, for all of my subscribers and everyone who has watched my videos. It's had such a wonderful growth in a year, and I'm very, very grateful to be here and to be producing content for you. The other part of it was I did post a special video on Thursday. We decided to go ahead and do a messages from your person reading. We posted a video with that title 2 months ago, and it did really, really well. So as in celebration of the day, I went ahead and posted that. So please feel free to check that out if you want. And then it was interesting, last week's weekly energy card reading, I always go in and I pick a deck with you, and I picked the Tattoo Tarot, and I think that's the first deck that week. I'm not sure, but I really am. I'm really feeling that energy, guys. It's kind of funny. In that deck, I think the beginning of the week had the Page of Wands. And the imagery in the card just really got me, like I kept getting the vibe that the beginning of the week was gonna be very kind of almost a little juvenile, like kind of blunt, kind of not in a bad way, but just really kind of rough and tumble, like, kind of blunt with your words and just kind of rumbling through things. And it's funny, next week is my birthday. My birthday is next week, and I'm going away on vacation. And you know how it is the week before you leave on vacation, you know how it seems like everything kind of ramps up. This week is going to be really busy, and so when I was reading that spread, last week for this week, on Saturday for this week, I was watching it. I was like, okay, I'm going to be in the Page of Wands energy at the beginning of the week. And oh my gosh, guys, I totally was. I'm filming this about halfway through the week. I'm going to see if the rest of the week goes the way that the spread projected that it would. But the beginning of the week, I've been really, how you get really, really kind of restless the week before you go on a trip or before you go away. I'm really trying to knock things out, and I don't feel like I feel like I am being a little bit blunt with it. It's kind of like okay, thanks, bye. and people have been very patient with me. I'm not offending. Again, it's not an offensive energy. It's just kind of like, it's almost like being a little bit of a blunt child. The other thing is on my other desk, not my tarot table, but my other desk, it's funny. On Monday, I got a drawer stuck. And I know that's so stupid. It's kind of a weird, silly thing. Something got, you know how when something gets jostled inside of the drawer and it starts popping up, like something got propped up and is preventing the drawer from opening? And oh my gosh, guys, I felt like I was trying to fit I was trying to fit a letter opener in there. I was using a flat piece of cardboard, and I was total Page of Wands. I was just kind of like, you know what I finally did? I finally took everything off the top of the table, and I literally turned the table on its side and started shaking it. It was kind of like, Tawanda! And that, believe it or not, that worked. I did finally get it open, got the drawer. But I just wanted to let you know that, because like looking back on the week, I was like, going into the week, I was like, Page of Wands, what, that's not me. That's not going to happen. And then, Monday, I'm shaking a table like, get on charge, you stupid thing, And so I just wanted to let you know, I picked decks with you. So, you're not alone. You're not alone. But all right, long intro, too late. We've got 3 decks here. The first deck is the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And all of the gemstones, I decided to go with animals as well, just to keep in theme. But the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid, and with it you have a beautiful rose quartz rabbit. If the lighting will focus please. It's a really cute rabbit. It's really cute. And then the second deck is this is by Stephen Farmer. It's Messages from Your Animal Guides by Stephen D. Farmer. And with it, we have a beautiful Unikite turtle. He's a really good dude. And then the third deck is the Animal Allies deck by Jessica Swift. This really has some beautiful imagery in it. It's more kind of like drawing type of animal imagery. And with it, we have Lefty the Luck Owl. He has 1 foot. It's his good foot. And he's a very wise stone. And then clarifying, we have the Spacious Tarot. And with it, I have a thing for maimed gemstone animals. This is my little frog, and he's got 1 good eye. But he's a little goldstone frog. But I will let you choose if you like the art, if you like the animals, if you're drawn to the deck. Please choose from your intuition. If you need more time, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. We'll go ahead and move these other decks up. I think this is so fun. We haven't done this in a while. We haven't had an all oracle reading in a while. And believe it or not, I've done all oracle reads for myself and on the channel. And it really does. It gives some really good messages. You'd be surprised. Why do it? Because we can, right? So I like this because it's a little bit of an inverse. We usually pull tarot and then clarify with oracle, and now we're going to do it the other way around. All right. So deck number 1. What's your energies for the next 7 days? What's your week going to be like? So deck number 1. What's the energy for the beginning of deck number 1's week? Okay, we got Bat Spirit. That's so cool. Okay, middle of the week, please. What's the energy for deck number 1's middle of the week? Ooh, oh my gosh, you guys saw that, right? That came flying out. And then end of the week, please. Okay. Wow. Gosh, guys, you got a lot of manifestation energy going here. All right, and let's get, thank you. Thank you. Holy Toledo. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, and goodness. All right, guys. So, the beginning of the week, you got bat spirit. And so, what you got is you got a rebirth is assured. So, you know what? I almost get this as almost really kind of like a phoenix kind of energy. A bat is really, bats are really, really depicted as, they're really depicted in regeneration cards, right? Like, like in a good manifestation, if this was tarot, like if you got the death card, a bat really is in a good sense. It's that good kind of regeneration. The other thing that I kind of get is that the bat definitely gets a bad connotation sometimes, like they get labeled as being a certain way. But believe it or not, bats are really actually really, really good, kind of a good spirit animal. Um, with them hanging upside down, I do almost kind of get a little bit of a hanged man energy. Maybe you're really kind of seeing things. I get a sense that at the beginning of the week you're going to be seeing things from a different perspective, but you're still going to be comfortable. It's almost like you're getting. The other thing I kind of get is that you're seeing something from your unique perspective, right? And I'm getting a lot of individualistic kind of energy from the beginning of the week. The other thing that I get, and one thing that's little known about bats, or maybe it is well known, maybe you do know that about that species, is that they typically they have the reason, and they get such a bad connotation because a lot of the communicable diseases stem from bats. But the reason that the communicable diseases kind of evolve from bat culture is because bats in their blood and in their antibodies, like the way that they fight off viral infection is, believe it or not, they have the antibodies. They the cells in their body are meant to replicate in order to prevent disease. It's interesting. They are less susceptible to a collective type of, because they live in groups, they're less susceptible. It's almost like their individual immunity is far more stronger than most. So they themselves do not catch diseases from other things as often, but they can give that disease to something else because they are so immune. So what I'm kind of getting is that I'm getting that kind of, and I know that sounds like a weird analogy, but I do get the sense like something about you being yourself, something about being yourself is ensuring a rebirth. The other thing is, when I hear rebirth, I think of kind of a phoenix energy. And the one thing that that when you think of phoenix, you always think, oh well, I'm going to rise again, and I'm going to become something new. And yes, it does have all of that symbolism, it has all of that meaning. But the other thing about like rebirth or transformation is, a lot of times, if when you've had those transformative moments in your life, don't you feel like you're you're not a part of the crowd, right? If you've had those moments in your life where you're going through a phase where when you think about it, any moment in your life, like maybe when you were in high school, you had a few years of awkwardness, and then over the course of one summer, you kind of really defined you got your own sense of style, and you cut your hair, and then it's almost like you found your style and you transformed. But you did it kind of on your own. You didn't. That's what I kind of get from that with the bat spirit. It's almost like your immunity is with you, and it's not in a bad way. You're transforming for other people can see your transformation, but it's almost like your transformation is based on your sense of self, and you don't need anybody else to know that you're worth it. It's almost like it's like that confidence when it is like that phoenix moment, that confidence The other thing is that bats really do, they stay contained. They're almost wrapped up in their wings. It's almost like a self hug, right? But then when they fly, when they actually go out into the world, that's they're actually spreading their wings and going, right? I do get a sense that you might be a little bit of a night owl. Um, and the other thing is, I get that you might be, I know this is a crazy analogy, but maybe at the beginning of the week, I'm getting the phrase hot blooded. I know this kind of sounds kind of weird. This time of year, and especially on Monday, again, my birthday is next week, and I've had, years of trying to schedule parties. One thing I've always noticed this time of year, by the first week of October, it seems like one day it'll be like 70 degrees, and then the next day it's like 50 degrees, and then it just stays that way. It's like you have over the course of 1 or 2 days, the weather just snaps, and then fall is here, right? Then it's just straight fall, right? It just gets progressively cooler. But it's weird at the beginning of the week. I almost get this feeling like, have you ever had moments that no matter, even if it's 60 degrees, you feel kind of hot? I'm getting kind of that. For some reason, at the beginning of the week, you're feeling like, even though it's kind of cool out, you're feeling really hot. I'm hearing hot blooded. The other thing is that you got the number 5, and Monday is the 5th. So maybe this energy is pertaining more to Monday, because this is the beginning of the week. But the other thing that I get is 5 is a number of change, and when it says rebirth. So again, I feel like you feel like you're changing in a positive way, and I get a strong sense of individualism. It's almost like you're doing your thing. And you're really shining. I think the beginning of the week, you might be doing things that are just uniquely you. And you're not even, and it's more than just caring about other people's opinion. It isn't that, people are making judgments and you don't care. You're not even thinking about what other people think. You're just doing your thing. I get a really sense of individuality, you know? But I feel like you're having a good week, where the beginning of the week you feel rejuvenated, and you feel like a different person. It's almost like I feel like you're letting some part of yourself really shine, and it's a side of yourself that only comes out at night, or that you don't show to people very often, right? Now, by the middle of the week, you got some really interesting energy. The number on this is 66. And 66 is actually a real love number. 6 is a real love number. And with it being 2, it's almost like a parallel. But you got White Raven Spirit. And this is Trust in the Magic. This is such a beautiful card, guys. And this is the card that really flew out. I really get the sense, and again, starting with this transformation, and it looks like this bird almost has like it looks like it has an invisible crown on it. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like it has a crown on its head that is almost looks like it's invisible. But I do get the sense that, and you got like kind of a red sprig here. With the cool colors, I do think that the weather might be a little bit cooler. The other thing is, I do think I'm getting you know what? I'm getting a strong fashion sense here, and this is crazy. I never have these kind of thoughts pop up in a read, but I gotta say it now that I notice it. You see how fluffy their feathers are, and you see how they got their chin up. They look like they're kind of looking like strutting. I think that the weather might snap a little bit by the middle of next week. It might be a little cooler. And I think you might be sporting either like the fashionable scarf, or maybe you have like a coat or a jacket that has kind of a big collar on it, or kind of like a cowl. And I just think you're gonna look like part of my French. I think you're gonna look like the shit. Like, you're just gonna be like. The other thing is that I think that you're looking. I really get the sense of the High Priestess with this card. White Raven and Trust in the Magic. I really do get the sense, like, I feel like, first off, I think that you're going to have a very fashionable week. The other thing is that I do think that middle of the week, um, again, have you ever had it where you have a shift in energy, and usually these are like kind of times in your life where you're feeling like a new person. Maybe this week you actually get a chance to kind of break out of some old patterns. I do get the sense that you might be actually going out. If you're in North America, we're still adhering to social distancing. We're still doing our due diligence in light of the pandemic, but things are starting to ease up a little bit. It's almost like we're going in stages, and I almost get the feeling like you're finally getting a chance to kind of first off, I think that you might actually be going out and doing some things like on a small scale. I don't think you're going to crowds with 100 people, but on a very small scale, I think you're actually starting to venture out. The other thing is that being inside so much has been really, really hard, a lot of us are, and it's a blessing to be able to work virtually too. That's a great blessing. But I almost get the sense like there's a freedom that I'm feeling here. The other thing is that I think that you might be going out in nature a little bit. And you look really cute. Again, I just feel like the high priestess. We had a tarot on the high priestess, and one of the images for the high priestess was being the it girl. Like there's a kind of a magic aura about her that just makes her really look kind of unattainable. And that's and it's more than just a look. It's an inner confidence. The high priestess kind of she knows what's going on behind the surface. So I really get the sense that you're coming out of your cave in the beginning of the week. You're feeling your strength. And by the middle of the week, I feel like you're going to be very deep in your own understanding. And maybe you're meditating more. Maybe if you throw cards, maybe you're throwing cards. You could very well be going to church or practicing yoga. But in the middle of the week, it's like the other thing that I kind of get from this with these two cards is that, how they talk about you are an individual, if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, whatever you believe in, you are a child of God, you are a child of the universe, you are exactly who you're meant to be, and you're meant to shine with your gifts. And I feel like you kind of it's almost like you're starting to kind of own your essence, so to speak, and by the middle of the week, by owning it, it becomes kind of a conduit where by you exuding your personality and being you and going out and doing the things you like to do, maybe possibly being an influence for others, it really is becoming it's becoming a circle, like a current, and the universe is really going to feed energy into you. It's almost like, again, you're acting like, the channel for a lot of energy. And nothing bad in this. I just think that you're really in tune. I also get a sense of a little bit of freedom because you see this person on a branch, but they look like they're kind of resting. And the expression on their face is just really amazing. I'm getting a strong sense of peace, but I'm also getting a strong sense of knowing. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to throw this out real quick. I pulled this the other day, and oh my gosh, the colors are so similar. There's a card in the Wisdom of the Oracle, also by Colette Baron-Reid, that says Deep Knowing. I'm amazed that I have this card on hand, but that's what I'm thinking of for the middle of your week, guys. You see this? Oh my gosh, guys. Also, by this point, it would be right around the 7th of October, so it won't be the new moon. The new moon is in Aries on the 1st, but this would be kind of first quarter moon by the time. But I just get the sense in the middle of the week you're going to be in this amazing place. I feel like you're going to feel centered, you're going to feel free, you're going to be being yourself and being out in the world. And I do think that you're going to be doing things that are uniquely you. But you're going to be in a very zen place. This is gorgeous energy, guys. And you're going to be looking really cute. Whatever, I'm seeing like a scarf or something. It might have feathers on it. Please, if this resonates, or, maybe it's telling you to wear that scarf with the feathers, But let's go ahead, and at the end of the week, you got chameleon spirit. And wow, guys. First off, I am also getting kind of a message. Well, here, we'll get into that. But chameleon spirit, you got act as if. And what this is this talks a lot about this is a lot of power of attraction. Like if you've ever read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, um, chameleon is saying that you have, like, almost like the magician, you have the power to manifest anything that you want. And when you're showing up like the white raven, and you're in the zone, you're in the zone to create a lot of positive change. And again, I'm getting this week is a really powerful week for you. If you are a Libra and maybe your birthday is this week, I think with it be a return of your sun. The other thing is, with the sun being in the sign of Venus, it's the return of Aphrodite. There's another card that's called the return of Aphrodite, but that's but it's I really think that you're going to be in a place of stepping really kind of, you're going to feel like you're in a balanced place of power. And by the end of the week, I really get the sense that you being in the energy of owning your strengths and exhibiting your true personality, and almost kind of being in that balanced place of understanding what you want out of life, and and your core values. Um, by the end of the week, I think that you're going to start to see the change that, because of where the you see how this goes in kind of an arch. You're getting in the zone, and you might start seeing you might start manifesting things and not even realize that you're bringing it to yourself. And this is almost a reminder from the universe saying, okay, you're going to see the results of you putting out this energy. It's almost like you're going to start seeing how the conduit works. And you're going to get some positive things in return. And I think if you really kind of build on this energy, if you stay in that zone, um, I think by the end of the week, you're really going to start realizing that what you want can come to you. And you might start, the other thing is, act as if is a manifestation kind of mantra. It's like saying, imagine that you have what you want, imagine that you're grateful for it, and it will come to you. So I would say by the end of the week, and this is a little bit of a dual card, if you stay in this energy and start imagining what you want, imagine as if you already have it, then all of a sudden watch it start to manifest. But on the flip side is, if you feel like you don't deserve it, or if you stay in a mindset of not wanting, not deserving, there's a little bit of receptivity that's here too. I am getting a strong sense that you almost feel, because again, the bat stays in its cave, it doesn't come out. It's a little bit, it's a little bit of a taboo symbol. I'm getting the sense that if you realize that you are beautiful exactly as you are, you have gifts. If you let those gifts shine, if you just let them shine, you can have everything that you desire. And I'm getting a little bit of a sense here that the universe wants to kind of show you, and by the end of the week, it's going to be showing you, see, this, you deserve to have good things. Good things can come to you. You just be you. Stay in your strong, positive energy. And at the end of the week, I just get this strong sense that you're going to be in that zone. And really, the other thing is that this is a 14, which boils down to a 5, and this is a 5. And then there's double sixes, so it's like 5, 6, 6, 5. And I really get the sense that it's just kind of telling you that there's a balance here, that there's a cause and effect. But I also get the sense that you might be kind of hard on yourself, like you don't let this really beautiful, what I'm kind of hearing, and this is a unique one too. I think that because look at this bird. This bird does not look like a typical bird. Right? They're not like a parrot kind of beautiful, right? But they are gorgeous. You know what I'm kind of getting is that I think you are a unique bird, but you don't let, like you don't fluff up your feathers. You don't try to get attention. And then when you do have that day where you get out and you look gorgeous and people stare at you think people are staring at you because they think that you look like strange in a bad way. But what you don't realize is that you look strange in a mystical, attractive, almost like, oh my god, that's a unicorn. I've never seen someone like that before. But you don't think of it that way. And there's a manifestation here that at the end of the week you're in the zone. Go ahead, take advantage of it. Is what I'm kind of hearing. At the end of the week, really act as if, go ahead and imagine that you already have what you want, because this is a very powerful week. I am getting a strong sense that it might be your birth week. I don't know. Please shout out to my other Libras. Now the tarot card that you got the Tower. And this is actually a really beautiful tower. This is actually, the tower is, when I see lightning, I kind of think Aquarius. But what you see here, and what's beautiful about this card, is it's different than other towers. Have you seen that when you stack rocks, that's a meditative practice, because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to stack up all those rocks, and it's almost like a Zen. If you Google this, like rock stacking, to get them all balanced and to get them exactly proportioned, it's kind of like Jenga, but in a more long-term kind of meditative way, a meditative activity. And what you see here, and this is a really great depiction, it's so cool. You see lightning striking it, and just like with the traditional tower, you never know. You never know if something's going to crumble. Like if your foundation is strong, the tower moment will not affect you, right? So and this is a major arcana, I don't think that you're going to have a tower moment at all. But what I'm kind of getting from this is that you've built up all of this peace, and you've built up all of this kind of, like, you have, again, I'm seeing the Zen parallel here. I think what it's saying is the moment that you meet with a little bit of, are you just going to fly back into your cave the moment that you feel insecure? Or are you going to continue with this energy and really let the conduit get stronger? Almost, really kind of work that energy. And I think you'll also get some, I think also what it's kind of telling you is you might be a little awestruck. Like it might be a little surprising how quickly things come to you. It's almost like turning on a magnet. You turn the magnetism on and you're like, whoa, everything's coming towards me, kind of like that. And the last thing I kind of get from this is that I do see you being in a real, again, I'm seeing a lot of creative visualization here. I think you might get an epiphany idea. You might have some kind of real strike of lightning that's either a thought or some kind of positive manifestation. And I think what it's saying is that, don't be afraid because this is your natural energy, you're just turning it on, right? So the other thing I think it's telling you is that you have a lot of power behind you, and so try not to be afraid of it. Try not to be afraid of it. Try to stay in that Zen, try to stay in that Zen kind of stacked rocks kind of mentality, because you could have there's a lot of power in this that can come to you suddenly, but try not to be afraid. It would be sudden, but it might be something really good or something that you've wanted. And I definitely see that might be kind of towards the end of the week or the weekend, But wow, guys, that's really powerful. That's really cool. Please tell me that resonates, especially with the fashion stuff and the birthday stuff. But that was really cool. All right, so let's move on to our second Oracle deck, Messages from Your Animal Guides by Stephen D. Farmer. And if you missed the intro, tomorrow, October 4th, is World Animal Day. So what we're doing is we're going with animal decks instead of, we're going with animal oracle decks instead of tarot, and we're going to clarify with one tarot card. So beginning of the week, deck number 2, our Unikite Turtle. Oh, one other thing, deck 1, your rabbit is real fast too. So I wonder if it's going to be a little bit more of a slower week for our deck 2. So deck number 1, what's the beginning of our week? Okay, beginning energy for the beginning of the week. Okay, we'll go with the deck, the card. Okay, middle of the week, please. This deck actually has a really kind of beautiful, it has a little bit of a ribbed kind of texture. It makes it real good to grasp the cards. It makes a little bit of a sound when I'm shuffling. So I'm not beating up my cards. That's just how they sound when I'm shuffling. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I was kind of talking while we were doing that. So let me go ahead and get one more. Okay, thank you. Whoa. Wow. Okay, I am going to include all of these guys. It seems like a lot, but we'll roll with it. And let's go ahead and get one tarot card. So deck number 2. What's the theme for their week? All right, that flipped. Ooh, Guardian of Swords. All right. Just to clarify, we're clarifying with the Spacious Tarot, and there are no humans in that deck, so I thought that was a good one for our animal theme. All right, guys. So beginning of the week, you got Mountain Goat. And this is a very Capricornian kind of symbol. So the turtle, the slow and steady, definitely feeling that. But mountain goat. So you got there's something out of balance in your life. So do whatever you need to correct it. So this is definitely a different kind of meaning. Mountain goats definitely, they climb mountains, and they kind of take one step at a time. So I am getting kind of a slow and steady energy. I am getting kind of a turtle in the hair. But I think what it's telling you is that it is kind of telling you that some kind of energy in your life is out of balance, and I think you know that. And at the beginning of the week, maybe you're going to try to do some kind of, maybe you'll kind of get out into nature. I do kind of get that vibe too. It might be beneficial to get outside if you have the opportunity to go for a hike. Maybe do something like that, or if there's any mountains near you, maybe climb a mountain, a small one. But kind of like the hermit, the hermit goes to the mountaintop. I think it almost wants you to kind of look within a little bit, maybe kind of get away and get into your own head to kind of see what's out of balance in your life. Maybe you feel like you're working too much and not getting enough personal time. Maybe, again, it can be a million different reasons. I know when we read the cards, we always throw out real generic situations, but this is really kind of deep energy. The other thing is Capricorns are a cardinal sign. They're leaders, right? And they're very practical. They're very practical. So I almost get the sense that maybe also I do kind of get a feeling like it might be too much work, because it's the other thing is Capricorns, they work a lot, right? They kind of prioritize being at the office more than anything else in their life. But the other thing that I kind of see is that I also get the sense that you are a very practical person. And so when you're thinking about solutions to something, when you're trying to think of a new way of doing things, cardinal energy, the cardinal signs, Capricorn, Cancer, Libra Sun, and Cancers, they are all good. First off, they're very good at starting things and not finishing things, by the way. But because you get so excited about the start of something, and then the finishers are the fixed signs. But the Capricorns, it's almost like when you're thinking about doing something new or doing something different, you take it very seriously, but you also take it from a very almost factual kind of standpoint. You get practical to the sense that you know what it is. I'm almost getting a sense like just like the mountain goat or just like the Capricorn. It's very hard for you to discern when something is emotionally out of balance. You feel it, and you know that the imbalance is there, but it's almost like you want to solve it in a practical way. Um, I always say, when you go through life and you think, okay, well, I want to buy a house. Well, I save up money, I put down the down payment, I find the house, I get the mortgage, and then it's done. Um, Problems like feeling out of balance, like maybe you're having a midlife crisis, maybe it's a time of celebration for you, but you're feeling kind of meh. When you start feeling out of balance, that's the kind of situation that you can't just sit down and say, well, if I do ABCD, I'll be better. I think it's hard for you. And I think the universe is kind of telling you, and mountains kind of symbolize problems, right? I do think that it's kind of encouraging to you to try to climb to a higher level, maybe climb to the top of your problem to see. And actually, as we get to the middle of the week, this is going to play into it too. But I think that you might need to approach this balance from a different perspective, or you might find the solution in a different way than you're used to. I don't think approaching your feeling of imbalance from the same practical standpoint, I don't think that's going to give you the solution. And I think that's what it's kind of telling you. I do also get a strong sense of nature, because of course all of these are nature cards, but I think getting out in nature, possibly getting close to trees or hiking, would help clear your head. It might help you get it, help you to think. Sometimes I know when I go out for a walk, it's a way of being in my own head. It gets me away from the house, and goodness knows we're all stuck inside right now. Get out of the house a little bit, and that'll help clear your mind where it's just you and your emotions and your thoughts. Now, by the middle of the week, you got Condor, and it says you are too enmeshed in this situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. Holy Toledo, guys, you got a theme here. And so what I'm kind of seeing there is that, yeah, exactly what we said. You might be a little too close to the situation. That might be contributing to your sense of imbalance. So by the middle of the week, you might feel really enmeshed, entrenched in something. And you might just feel like, I'm hearing forest from the trees. Like, again, like the solution is eluding you because you're too close to the problem. And the two cards that flipped out, it was interesting. You got Honeybee, and I love bees. Bees are my favorite. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. And the other one, you got Cat, Domestic. It's time to strike out on your own and relinquish your over-dependency on others. So, wow, guys, I am getting a strong sense of needing to get away a little bit. I think getting away, maybe you feel a little codependent on someone. Maybe that closeness is really making you feel out of balance, out of balance emotionally. The other thing is that I think that the one thing with goats, I'm getting a strong Capricorn vibe here. The other thing is that if you have Capricorn in your chart, with it being a Libra sun, and I think Mars is in Aries in the late degrees, you might be feeling a little out of your element, right? You got an air and fire ruled sky. That's the other thing, is that when you look at your turtle, like, turtles are labeled as being slow, right? Like the turtle in the hair. Maybe you are kind of being treated like you're too slow, or you're stodgy, and again, I think you're trying to do what you always do, which is hash out a practical solution to how you're feeling. But it's telling you that that mindset, or that way of problem solving is putting you too close to the situation, and that's contributing to you feeling out of whack. But if you let compassion and forgiveness, and the other thing is self-forgiveness. A lot of people work really, really hard, like they serve others and they don't give any time to themselves. So that also could be codependency. It doesn't necessarily have to be you relying on someone else. Maybe someone's relying on you. And maybe you have to show some compassion for yourself. The other thing is that all earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, they do tend to work themselves to a point of exhaustion. And then, believe me, I know, I have a Venus in Virgo, so I feel ya. There are days that I have just worked myself to death. I've had a long work day, and it's amazing how when I lay my head down at night, it's funny, I could have had like 10 situations where I had really good encounters, right? Things went well. But it's the one encounter that didn't go well that you lay down and you beat yourself up over, right? The one thing that you didn't do right, or your one failure of the day, right? It seems like the biggest thing in your world. And that's you not having any compassion for yourself. And earth signs are very notorious for this. If you have any earth in your chart, you will do that. It's a perfectionism is what it is. You expect yourself to be flawless. And it isn't because you're trying to be better than anyone. It's just I always think of it like this. If you have compassion for other people, like if what you're deeming in your head as a screw up, if someone else had done that to you, would you have been beating them up the way that you're beating yourself up, right? You need to show your own self the same compassion and forgiveness that you would show someone else if they did the same, made the same mistake. But the other way that I kind of read this too is that maybe you are in a situation with someone else, and maybe someone did something to you that was a little bit, crappy. This could be a fight with someone, and it's almost saying, okay, you might be giving a little too much right now, and you do need to step back, or you need to focus on yourself for a little bit, and that's okay, because that would allow you to get some distance, and it would allow you to see things from a higher perspective. And maybe you have to show compassion to the other person and yourself. Forgiveness might be needed for both people. But I do get more of a sense that this might be some self-forgiveness. The other thing is that if you feel like you're not feeling good enough, that's the other thing, is that you might be feeling really hard on yourself. With your turtle too, it's almost like you feel like you're not going fast enough, or you're not, if you've ever had those moments, again, where you lay down at night and you think, why aren't I that's the other thing with the Capricorn. Capricorns set really lofty goals, and they step by step climb the mountain to get to that goal. But sometimes when you think, you'll lay your head down at night and go, well, I never thought that I'd be here by this age. I thought I'd have this and that, and why am I so far behind? Why am I going so slow? Why isn't this happening for me? That's you beating yourself up, and you're not giving yourself enough self-love, right? You need to kind of be your own friend and see the good in the situation. But I do also think it's time to strike out on your own and relinquish over dependency on others. Maybe you just kind of have to do it your way. Do it your way a little bit. Have a little bit more self-compassion. And the other thing is that if you are relying on, if this is relating to a person, maybe you feel like maybe your person, you feel like you have to do things their way. By the middle of the week, it's kind of saying, break free of that a little bit. So, beginning of your week, you're going to feel a little bit imbalanced. You're going to feel a little bit emotionally off par. And you're not going to know, you're going to be trying to find a practical solution. In the middle of the week, it's really encouraging you to kind of lean back, kind of see something from a different, higher perspective. And a lot of self-compassion and maybe some independence. If there are other people kind of making you feel, or if the pressure to be this kind of perfect person is coming from other obligations in your life, kind of take some time for yourself and do your own thing. Separate yourself. You don't have to, because sometimes your sense of self can be reliant on other people too, so kind of lean on yourself for a little bit. And then by the end of the week, you got Camel. And it says, trust that you have the resources to get through the challenges before you. Wow, guys. And the camels walk through the desert. They drink enough water to get them through. They're very resilient animals. So first off, I'm seeing between a turtle, a mountain goat, and a camel. I'm definitely seeing like plotting steps. It's funny. Your tarot, you got a swords card, but this is really surprising. I think that theme is also kind of resonating that you're not gonna achieve or solve. You're not gonna get into a balanced place overnight. But trust that you have the resources to get through this. Trust that you have the resources to get through it. And I do think that by the end of the week, you are going to feel a little bit better. I think that I don't think that you'll be 100% on the level, but maybe the scales are starting to tip a little bit. Like you are starting to get a handle on what's making you feel imbalanced, and then it'll also, so I think by the end of the week you're going to realize that whatever this is going to take a little bit of time, but that you have everything that you need to do that. The other thing that I kind of get from that is by the end of the week, it's almost like you're prepping to go the long haul, right? Maybe if this feeling of imbalance involves, you making some changes in your life, right? By the end of the week, you'll realize what changes those are, and you're ready to commit yourself to making those changes. And it's going to be slow and steady, but you're filling up on water, you're getting your reserves ready, and sometimes that's half the battle too. Sometimes you can make yourself feel much better. You know how they say planning releases endorphins in your head. Get a plan. Just figure out what you need to do, and the other thing about the plotting steps with it is that the other thing that I kind of get is it with you walking through the desert. I keep getting a inhospitable environment from this. So maybe you have, and same thing with the rocky terrain here. You got rocky terrain, and then you got a desert heat. I think wherever you are, it's gonna be a journey. But the other thing that you get is that you're acclimated, like you're used to that climate, and you can survive it, right? Just like the camel, you can survive whatever environment that you have to, trek or journey through to get where you want to go. And I think that really plays into what you feel is out of balance in your life. It's going to help you feel better and feel more in tune. Now, the tarot card that you got the Guardian of Swords, and this is the Queen of Swords, guys. And that's amazing because that's a very Libra card. The other thing that I kind of see here is I noticed that the moon in the background, it's a little bit of a, yeah, actually, you know what? That's this week. The 3rd through the 10th is the first quarter moon. So, yeah, I do think actually this might be the this would be a little bit past the full moon. It would be like possibly, well, we would look at the moon cycles. This could very well be the phase of the moon for this week. But what I'm kind of seeing here is that the Guardian of Swords is the Queen of Swords, and what I'm thinking here is that just definitely maintain your boundaries. That's a boundaries kind of card. The other thing is that it is kind of telling you to, keep your thoughts on the level. I think it is pertaining to a lot of thoughts. you're too enmeshed in the situation. I do think that you're a very analytical person. I think you're very much in your head. And what it's kind of telling you is it's okay to be a thought-provoked person. You know, these thoughts are not a bad thing. You know, working it out in your mind is a good thing. But, you know, try not to get mental gridlock from it. The other thing is with this, you know, independence kind of card, you know, break free of codependency. The Queen of Swords is a very independent person. She's actually usually kind of depicted as the single woman card, but you can be a man or a woman watching this. I think it is talking about your boundaries. The other thing that kind of tells me is that the Queen of Swords is very diplomatic in the fact that she can communicate with people and she can be very witty and friendly, but you don't cross her boundaries. And she doesn't even do it in a vicious way. You ever met those people that if you start a conversation, you know what it makes me think of? I kind of think of it of like having a conversation with the Queen of England. And I know that's a crazy analogy, but if you've ever talked to somebody in power, you know, it could be a political figure, it could be a monarch. You know that the conversation is kind of on their terms, right? And it's interesting. They don't even have to be rude or cutting to you, but they can have a peaceful, nice conversation. And then once the conversation's done, the conversation's done. If they end the conversation, it's okay. It was nice talking to you. Bye. You know, I think it's kind of saying that this is your energy. You know, you can navigate kind of inhospitable. You can navigate in an environment that's not real nurturing, and you can do it on your terms without being a witch. You know, without being a verbally cutting person. That you can control, and it's almost like you can control it with your words, and you can control it with your thoughts. And definitely, you know, with the flying bird, you know, just kind of seeing things in a very, you know, clear-headed kind of perspective. But wow, guys, that's a really good week. That's honestly a good week. I'm glad the camel came out at the end because that's a real positive card. And slow and steady, you know, wins the race. Oh my gosh, we got turtle in the hair. Maybe, you know, maybe if you know somebody who got picked the rabbit pile. But all right, so last but not least, we got Lefty the luck owl, and again he's got one foot and it's his good foot. And then the animal oracle deck that you got is the Animal Allies by Jessica Swift. Just gonna give it a quick shuffle. So, deck number 3, what's your energy for the week? I'm still getting paranoid about my microphone. It's very thoroughly charged, like green charged. Okay, so deck number 3. What is deck number 3's energy beginning of the week? Okay. The dragonfly keeps wanting to pop out. Okay, middle of the week, please. What is deck... Oh, thank you. Okay, that's our card. Oh, whale. And end of the week. Okay, end of the week. Ooh, thank you. We'll go with what's on the bottom. Oh, cool. You got Tita. Okay. Let's go ahead and get your tarot card. Some of these cards are much bigger in the hand, and I think I'm so used to shuffling tarot cards. It's been a while. I need to handle my bigger decks more. Okay, so what is the overall theme for deck? Thank you. Oh, we got the moon. All right. All right, guys. So, deck number 3. Oracle deck number 3. All right, I also got the description here. So this comes with a little fold-out booklet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to read it real quick as we go along, just to help get some clarifiers. But beginning of the week, we got beaver. And beaver is building and doing, protecting family and home, working well with others, teamwork. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Creating alternate solutions and routes to your destination. Creating options, looking at in front and behind. Working to make your dreams a reality. Dream and dream and do, dream and do. Okay, I love that. Dream and do, dream and do. I like that. And what it's really kind of telling me here is, wow, we got a major arcana too. Beginning of the week, I do think you're building. You're building. And it's almost like what I keep thinking is every time I see this beaver, or when I think of a beaver, I always think how they go out into the woods and they grab a stick with their teeth and they bring it back to the dam, and then they throw it on the dam with their face, and then they kind of pat it down with their tail. So at the beginning of the week, I think first off, I'm hearing busy beaver. So I do think that maybe you might be kind of busy at the beginning of the week. I do think that you're kind of building. You're kind of, one stick at a time. You're kind of building what you got to do. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. Excuse me. But I think you're dreaming and doing. And so I do get a sense of positive kind of growth. The other thing that I also kind of think of is that, beavers usually build dams in front of water. So I do think that you're kind of, it's interesting with your tarot card being the moon. I do kind of get a sense that I think that you might, because a dam helps to contain water, and water usually kind of, there are times that, as a beaver starts, I've always been curious about that. When a beaver starts building a dam, that's when the water can really wash away all of their work, right? What I'm kind of sensing here is that you're working really hard to keep the water back. So it's quite possible that you might be working to kind of distract yourself from your emotions. The other thing is that I do get a strong sense that the work that you're doing right now is going to be is your sense of security. So I get the sense at the beginning of the week you're dreaming and doing. The other thing that I kind of get is that just like it said, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. For some reason, I keep seeing that analogy. When a beaver first starts building that dam, there's only a few pieces of wood there. One bad rain, could make the water wash all of the work that you've done away. So it's almost like, you work really hard and you do good work, but you may not, you may want to do a little bit work on this dam and then do a little bit of work on another dam where you don't, if one project gets completely washed away, you still have another one that's yours, right? So don't put all of your effort into one project is what I'm kind of hearing. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I think that's a message for someone at the beginning of the week. The other thing is that, I am getting a sense of, I think that you're a really hard worker, and I'm hearing piece by piece too. It's quite possible that maybe you're working on something that you're cobbling together. That's a project that gives you a lot of security. The other thing is that I am kind of getting a sense that it's something that you're infatuated with, and not in a weird way, but have you ever had those projects that when you start them, you're like, and it could be a creative project too. I know there are times that when I get excited about something, like when I started sewing bags for my cards, I got so into that. And it was fun for me, like going to the craft store and picking out the matching material and getting the ribbon for the drawstring. That just really gave me, it helped me decompress. And I liked, just like the beaver, he runs into the woods and finds the perfect stick to be the next piece of structure in his dam. And you see those dams, they're really strong, the way that they build them is solid. So I get the sense that you're working on something that gets you a sense of security, and I do kind of feel like you're almost infatuated with it. Maybe it is a new project at work, or maybe it's something that you're working on that, like, after you get done with work, you run home to work on it. Um, I had a friend who used to love making miniatures of starships, and I know someone else. I have many friends who have different hobbies, and but I'm getting more of a sense like the it's almost like this is something that you can't wait to get back to keep working on, right? um, it's almost like you go out in the world to find another thing to contribute to this project, and it's like your main source of focus. And it can be work, or it can be, I'm getting more of kind of like something that you are drawn to do. It's like a calling. So maybe you do something at night, maybe you have a TikTok channel, a YouTube channel, an Instagram. Maybe you take pictures outside of your 9 to 5, and it's almost like it's that thing that you're drawn to do. And just like when you go out into the world, like for instance, I'm going on vacation this week, and I'll be on vacation this week. I'm still posting videos as normal. I'm filming them ahead of time and making sure they're scheduled for you. But it is like I think of this like when I'm on vacation, and even when I'm on vacation, I'll go into new age stores. I'll look for new stones, or I'll look for cool things to go along with my, and charms. Oh my gosh, I will, every single time I'm out and about, I'll be like, "Ooh, here's a new charm to add to my dish." I kind of get that feeling. Maybe you're collecting something and you're kind of excited about it. But it contributes to your sense of security. It gives you a jolt of like a sense of purpose. There we go. There's something that's giving you a sense of purpose at the beginning of the week. Now, middle of the week, you got whale. And this is great. Let me go ahead and read whale as I drop the thing on the floor. Oh, excuse me. Ow. I need to get out and stretch, guys. I'm really, it's crazy that half of this vacation, I'm excited because I will be walking every day. Like, I'll actually be like, biped on my feet, not hunched over anything. Not that I'm knocking it. I love reading cards on the computer, but have you ever clocked how many times you're actually sitting in a desk chair and not, like, being a humanoid? Sorry, lament over. Whale. We've got song, we got sound, song, voice, creativity. Many people believe that early life began in the ocean, so whale is a symbol of creation as well. Music has the power to shine light on depths and emotions within yourself, which may be accessible which may not be accessible by other means. Whale teaches us about song, breath, and different ways you can utilize them. Sing your own song, breathe into your own unique life, follow your intuition, dive deep into your creative waters to awaken your imagination, but remember to also come up for air and contact with the other world to share your beautiful voice. That's really interesting, guys. Maybe your project is something music related. Maybe you're collaborating with someone else. Throughout this whole pandemic, aside from cute dog videos, the things that have been keeping me sane, cute dog videos, and there's been an insurgence of those videos where you see different people film different parts. Like I have friends who are in bands, and the bass player will film their part, the drummer will film their part, the lead singer will film the vocals, and then you come together and you overlap everything. So maybe this is something that you've been doing. And maybe that's what you're excited. You're working on some kind of project that really gets you enthralled. The other thing is whale is kind of breakthrough. When I see the whale, the one thing that I keep seeing when I see this image is, when a whale jumps, when dolphins jump out of the water, you think about how much force it takes for them to leap out and, jump. And you've seen whales completely do the same things. And, they pop out of the water and they get a good far distance, out of the water. They kind of flail and then go back in. And these, whales are not small. They're, they've got quite a bit of, of gravity to them. So I almost get the sense of that I'm carrying momentum, like that the you're getting something that's really not, that can't pivot easily. You know what I mean? You're getting something that has a lot of force and has a lot of you know gravity to do a breakthrough, right? So middle of the week, I just feel like I'm hearing momentum. And I do think that music is going to be very important to you. With whale song, the other thing with whale song is that you might feel like you're communicating through music. And again, if you're a musician, if this is a project that you're working on either by yourself or other people, maybe you feel like you're making a connection through music. Because the other thing is, you can even Google it here on YouTube. If you ever watch those videos of whale song, whales communicate to one another, and it's almost like their own language. You could even, Finding Nemo, when Dory speaks whale. So cute. But it's almost like that. You feel like you're communicating with others. Either that, or the other thing that I'm kind of getting is, I'm getting a strong sense that you again, with the moon, and when we get to that, you might feel like you're working on something, but that I feel like maybe at the beginning of the week you feel like you're working hard on something, like you're putting the sticks in place to try to build a dam, but the water just keeps washing away what you're doing. And then the middle of the week, again, you feel like you're trying to steer a very big ship, is what I'm kind of getting. Maybe you're trying to get momentum moving on some kind of big project that's hard to move. And maybe you're communicating. Maybe music is a solace for you. Like you just feel like it's been hard, for one step forward, three steps back. And the other thing that I kind of get with this is that, and this is a crazy interpretation, but this is what I see. Um, I sometimes see the whale as being a leader, as a leader of a team, because when you think about it, when you have parts of an organization, like say you work for a company and one department handles this and another department handles that. When you're the head of your department, and it doesn't have to be high up the food chain, but even if you only have like 3 employees under you, it is like a whale, right? It's like a big ship. You have to steer it, and it doesn't move quickly. And when that whale jumps out of the water, it takes a heck of a lot of, it's almost like they have to go down really deep and start swimming, and really really in order to get that mass to break through. And what I'm kind of sensing here is that one whale speaks to another whale in whale song. So what it could be is, and this is again weird interpretation. Have you ever talked to other team leaders in a certain language? Like like if you're trying to steer your team, and you're struggling, or you feel like things are not gelling, and but you're still trying to maneuver, and you talk to another team leader. It's almost like the only other person who would understand your struggles is someone in the same position as you. And it's almost, I feel like you're speaking a different language that only someone else can empathize with or understand. The other thing that I kind of get from that is, because whales swim through water, that's emotion, that's cups energy. I think that maybe you are navigating some deep emotions, and maybe have you ever had those conversations with someone where um, there's there's subtext to the conversation? Like you talk to someone about something, and it's like it's almost if someone was listening, if someone else was listening in on your conversation, they would think, oh, well, they're talking about this. But when, but it means something else in your language, almost like when you have an inside joke, except it's not a joke. It's like a deep kind of resonance with somebody else who understands you. um, you know, like if I went to another, tarot, if I was hanging out with another tarot reader and I said, yeah, I had a real Three of Swords moment the other day, and someone would be like, uh-huh, okay. It's like speaking your own language because the other person knows what you're talking about. And I think you're speaking some kind of language of deep emotion, and it has to do with this, this movement. I do also think that songs might really be speaking to you by the middle of the week. Or you might be sending songs to someone else. Again, whales speak to each other. So maybe you're having some kind of conversation, or you could also be referencing song lyrics to somebody, or speaking in the language of song lyrics. That's possible. But that's your energy in the middle of the week. End of the week is pretty interesting. You got Cheetah. You got Cheetah. And there's another really good oracle card. I think, you know what, I do think it's the Wisdom of the Oracle as well. That says, it has a cheetah on it, and it's like, go the distance, right? It's like, go the distance. And let's go ahead and read it real quick, and then we'll wrap up. But, excuse me, hiccups. Speed, flexibility of body and spirit, quick response, learning to rest after periods of exertion, choosing a small group of people with whom to bond, trust, and be close. Oh my gosh, guys. Also beavers move in clans as well. So do whales. They move in a pod. Okay, but yeah, choosing a small group of people with whom to bond, trust, and be close. Learning not to spread yourself too thin or have too many plans, goals at one time. Focus, hone in what is real and true and vitally important to you. Choose that and focus on it. Wow, guys, so I do kind of read this one of two ways. If you do have kind of a day to night thing going on here, guys, if you do have a 9 to 5, but then you're running home to do something that makes you feel like, gives your life meaning, but it's that, that's a wonderful outlet, but sometimes that can be really exhausting. And what I'm kind of getting here is, because the cheetah's running straight towards the weekend, this is going through the weekend, maybe, maybe you are kind of catching up on I really kind of get a sense like work, because this is a lot of exertion, and so is the beaver. Maybe you are, first off, I feel like you're going to have a little bit of a busy Friday. It's almost like a doubled up Friday, like you have twice as. I think it's going to be one of those days that are busy but goes fast. And I love those days, by the way. It's almost like, what you're doing is keeping you mentally engaged, but it is a lot of work, but you just kind of knock it out. And then before you know it, you blink and it's time to clock out for the day. But I do kind of get the sense like you almost have two things going on, and then the moment you clock out, you turn around and do, hobby job, which isn't really, it's still working, right? You're doing something you enjoy, but you're still working. So the other thing is that, cheetahs, they do really fast sprints, and then they do have to rest. So again, I think it's telling you, if you're busy, if you do have like day job and then night hobby job, try to pace yourself a little bit. Try not to be doing that full sprint the whole time, or at least kind of know your limits. Know when you have to run and knock things out, but then give yourself time to rest as well. And I also think that you're going to be making, like, things are going to be moving fast. I almost feel like the weekend's going to go by in a blink, because you're just moving really quick. But all three of these cards really pertain to being close to people, or having a tribe, so to speak. So maybe you're spending time with your tribe with this other project. It could be family. But I do get a strong sense that, and the other thing is that I almost get kind of like a second wind with this too. what it might be is, again, you might have a lot of things going on in your day job or your day life, that are kind of moving along slowly but surely. And then when the weekend comes, there's a lot of activities that you want to get to, you're excited to, and you just run into it. But the other things that we want to remember is that what you're doing here is not easy, and having fun is great too, but that requires energy. You do want to try to schedule in some time to rest. The other thing I'm kind of getting is you might be running with your pack a little bit. Maybe you're spending some time with your friends. But that's really cool. I definitely see you moving fast. The other thing that I kind of get from this is that, you know how cheetahs, they really have their eye on the prize. They know what they're going for, right? So I almost get the sense that whatever you're running after is something that you have in your sights, right? You're going to get your goal, but and I am seeing that it's almost like, um, the last thing that I kind of think of is that sometimes when you have had a little bit of a delayed start, like those first pieces of the dam, or that whale trying to get the momentum, to break through the surface. I think once the ball starts getting rolling like that, it's almost like you want to power through the last of it, right? You want to go ahead and push through, and I'm kind of seeing that too. But what it's kind of reminding you is that this all three of these cards are about intense exertion of energy, and you do want to be mindful of your own limits with that. Now, the tarot card that you got Moon. Wow, guys, this is really beautiful. Now, the new moon, I think, it's a new moon on the 1st. And then the full moon doesn't come until like the 17th, I think. So that would be more of next week. But what I'm kind of sensing here is, I do get a sense that, the moon is very instinctual, which is the other thing is, yeah, wow, guys, that's a powerful word, instinctual. And that's the common denominator between all three of these animals. Like a beaver by instinct builds dams. A whale by instinct, swims in a pod and does the song, right? And then a cheetah by instinct hunts and runs and obtains. Um, so I think that's the theme of this week, is that I think you're going with some kind of internal drive. The other thing is that it's almost like a mystery. You don't know where this just like when you're drawn to something. I'm getting a strong sense of that. Like you're drawn to do something, and it's almost like you don't even know where this is coming from. Um, just like people talk about a maternal instinct. You're like, okay, I don't know where this is coming from. It's just part of me. That's what I'm kind of getting with the moon. I'm not getting a lost energy at all. I don't think that that's one of the meanings of the moon, but here, um, the other thing is that, the moon does not create its own light. The moon is a mirror, it's a reflection of the sun. So, what I kind of see here is that it's kind of your inner light, it's your inner purpose. And in Lenormand, it really means that shining your inner light. So I do think that I think you are shining your inner light through the actions that you're taking. Because again, a beaver is not a real showy animal. He builds his dam because that's what he wants to do, and people understand his instinct by what he does. And same thing with the whale. People understand the purpose of a whale with their song, and the way that they move, and their outward expression of themselves. And same thing with cheetah. And I think that's so interesting that it's the World Animal Day too. And I think your inner instinct is really glowing. It's almost like an internal full moon for you. And you're really showing it. One other thing that I can kind of think of with this, if you have in your natal chart a Libra moon, that's maybe anywhere from 12 degrees to if your moon is somewhere between 10 degrees and 17 degrees Libra, or possibly in an air sign like Gemini, Aquarius, or the non-opposite fire signs like 10 to 17 degrees Sagittarius or Leo. The sun in the sky would be a really strong kind of trine, or what we call a sextile. It would be like a supporting aspect. So that would really kind of, it would be like a little, it would be acting like a little pulse. It would, the sun would be powering your moon. The sun in the sky is sending a positive aspect to the degrees of your moon for the whole week. And that's how this man, I know that sounds really crazy, sorry, astrologer hat. But that's what I'm kind of seeing, because your internal instinct is manifesting or being seen in an external kind of output. But that's a real beautiful week, guys, and definitely take care of yourself. Maybe if you feel like taking a nap, 20 minutes, just kind of snooze. If you look at one of those videos where you see the cheetahs laying around, and they lay around with their friends too, their family, their clan. Oh wow, guys! So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. If you like that kind of read, please let me know if it resonates, or if you like the content. If you've seen other videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I would be very honored if you subscribe to my channel. But I got a big kick out of that. We'll continue to celebrate the national days, and maybe we'll try to do another oracle read in the future. I definitely owe you charms very soon. But I am going to be away this week, but all of the videos will post as normal. I'm filming them early and putting them on schedule. And but I hope that you have a really good week. I will be thinking of you while I am on R&R. So I hope you have a good time and get a chance to relax, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.